Retinol is one of the most researched ingredients we have for aging skin. But here's the thing, if you're using it the way most people do, it might actually be making your dark spots worse, not better. And when I looked into the mechanism behind why that happens, I completely changed how I use it. If we haven't met yet, I'm Holly. I share science-based skincare for women navigating aging skin so you can feel more confident and naturally beautiful. And today we're going into retinol, specifically why it backfires on dark spots, what the research actually says, and how to fix it. I'll be honest, I had sunspots and hyperpigmentation for over a decade. I spent years trying to fade them, like vitamin C serums, brightening mask, niacinamide, you name it. And then retinol kept coming up as the gold standard for skin renewal. So I started using it consistently. For a while, I thought it was working, and then my dark spots got kind of bigger and gradually got darker. And I thought maybe my skin just didn't really tolerate retinol, and I almost gave up on it entirely. What I didn't know and what nobody had explained to me is that it wasn't the retinol itself that was the problem. It was a combination of how I was using it was actually triggering more melanin production. Once I figured that out, I adjusted my routine and I started seeing real improvements for the first time. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly what those mistakes are. There are 3 of them. The mechanism behind why they specifically backfire after 40, and the 2 products I now use together that have made the most visible difference for me. I'll also explain something called retinol with an A, the upgraded form that most people don't know about. I'll get into that in a minute. Let me explain how retinol is even supposed to work on dark spots, because most people skip this part and it actually explains everything that comes after. A simple version of what retinol does to your skin is this. It accelerates cell turnover. So think of your skin like a conveyor belt. New cells form at the base and they travel to the surface and eventually they shed. Retinol speeds up that conveyor belt. Faster turnover means the pigmented cells, the one carrying your dark spots, get pushed to the surface faster and shed faster. In theory, it fades pigmentation over time. But here's the part nobody explains, and this is specific to our skin after 40. When estrogen levels start declining, your baseline cell turnover already slows down. So when retinol accelerates it, you are suddenly exposing newer, fresher cells that haven't had time to build any UV tolerance yet. They're essentially raw. And those fresh, raw cells are far more vulnerable to sun exposure, even just your morning commute. When they hit UV, your melanocyte, the cells that produce pigment, read that as a threat signal and overproduce melanin to protect the area, which means more dark spots, not fewer. And that's the mechanism. Retinol accelerates renewal, but if the conditions aren't right, you are setting up those new cells to get triggered by sun and produce even more pigmentation. So what are the 3 specific things that cause this to backfire? Let's go through them. Here's a mistake that ruins retinol for a lot of people, and it was the first one I was making. Using retinol at night and then skipping SPF in the morning or not using enough SPF. It sounds so simple, but given what I just explained, fresh cells at the surface, no UV tolerance, and this is exactly what's causing more pigmentation for people. You're doing the work at night and then undoing it every morning you step outside without protection. The research on this is actually very clear. Retinoids increase photosensitivity, and that effect is more pronounced in mature skin where the barrier is already thinner. Sunscreen isn't just an add-on when you're using retinol, it's part of the same mechanism. Without it, you're working against yourself every single day. So sunscreen every day is non-negotiable for retinol users. If you want to find out the best sunscreens I have tested, you can check out my best sunscreens video link below. And just beyond sunscreen, physical protection like hats and masks are added bonuses. Correction 2, and this is one I genuinely find interesting because the chemistry is so specific. A lot of us use vitamin C in our routine, and a lot of us us use retinol. The mistake is using them too close together on the same night or layering one immediately after the other. And here's why that's a problem. Vitamin C in skincare are formulated at a low pH to stay stable and effective. Retinol works best at a higher pH. When you layer them without giving your skin time to neutralize, two things happen. The vitamin C can destabilize the retinol, so it's less effective, and you're doubling the irritation load on your skin. And irritation is where things get complicated. A simple version of what irritation does to your skin is this. Your melanocytes don't know the difference between inflammation from a skincare product and inflammation from a wound. They just see that as a threat signal, and they respond by producing more pigment to protect the area. This is called post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, or PIH. It's the same reason a pimple leaves a dark mark behind. The inflammation itself triggered the pigmentation, not the original breakout. So the fix here is simple. Vitamin C in the morning and retinol at night, separated by roughly 12 hours. Your skin will tolerate both significantly better, and they won't work against each other. Correction 3, and this is one that changed how I actually shop for retinol products. Most of us are using retinol, but retinol isn't the end state. It's actually a precursor. Your skin has to convert it through 2 steps before it becomes retinoic acid, which is the active form that actually creates the change in the skin. 2 conversion steps means more time for your skin in an unstable form and more opportunity for irritation along the way. There's a form called retinol or retinaldehyde that only needs 1 conversion step. It's more efficient and effective at lower concentration, and because you need less of it to get the same result, it tends to cause less irritation. Less irritation means less PIH risk, which is exactly what you're trying to avoid if dark spots are your goal. This is where I want to walk you through the actual products I use, because after years of trial and error, I landed on 2 that I use together, and I want to explain why the pairing makes a sense on a mechanism level, not just because I like them. For my retinol step, I've been using the La Roche-Posay Pure Retinol Face Serum. What I like about this one specifically, and what I think it's a good fit for women over 40, is that it uses encapsulated retinol, which means it releases gradually on your skin rather than all at once. And that gradual release is what makes it significantly more tolerable than a lot of retinol that hit your barrier hard right away. It also has niacinamide in the formula, a skin brightening ingredient that actually helps counter PIH. So it's not just a retinol serum, it has a built-in buffer against exactly what we're trying to avoid, and I'll link it below. And then this is the pairing I genuinely believe makes the biggest difference. I used the Inky List tranexamic acid serum on the same night after the retinol has some time to absorb. And here's why this pairing works. Retinol accelerates turnover and pushes pigmented cells to the surface faster, and tranexamic acid works upstream. It actually blocks the signal that tells your melanocytes to produce new pigment in the first place. So it interrupts the enzyme pathway that drives melanin synthesis. So while the retinol is dealing with existing pigmentation, tranexamic acid is preventing new pigment from forming. 2 different steps in the same problem. The Inky List version has 2% concentration. That's the level the research supports as effective, and it's the most accessible price point I've found for that level. I'll link it in the description below. If you have never used this combination before, try to alternate them. So the La Roche-Posay retinol one night, and then the Inky List tranexamic acid the other night. This is to prevent overloading your skin. But if you're experienced in both ingredients like me, combining retinol and tranexamic acid is the best formula to fade dark spots. And I want to be real with you about the timelines. I've had my sunspots and hyperpigmentation for over 10 years. I've seen visible improvement, but it took me months of consistent use, not weeks. Anyone promising you a 2-week transformation is not being straight with you. And I also want to be honest about who this routine is not for. If you have very sensitive skin, active rosacea, or a compromised skin barrier, retinol can cause more problems than it solves, at least at first. There are gentler alternatives like bakuchiol and hinokitiol that have research behind them for pigmentation with a much lower irritation profile. If you want to learn more about low irritation retinol alternatives, let me know in the comments and I'll make a dedicated video. And for deeper melasma, especially the kind that's hormonally driven and gets worse with sun exposure, retinol and tranexamic acid alone may not be enough. That's a layered issue that can need professional medical involvement, and I don't want to oversell what a home routine can do. That's it for today's video. If you find this helpful, let me know by giving it a like, subscribe for more research-backed skincare, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!